everyone, and welcome to the channel. And today on the channel, I'm going to be talking about the brand new thriller film in theaters now called Fall. But before I get into my thoughts, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment below your thoughts on this film. Are you going to see this film, or have you even heard about this film? And also turn on the notification bell so you never miss any video that I post and I upload weekly. And now without further ado, let's get into my thoughts and let you know if this film is worth a watch. Directed by Scott Mann, Fall is about best friends Becky and Hunter who find themselves stuck at the top of a 2,000-foot radio tower. The film stars Grace Caroline Curry, Virginia Gardner, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Mason Gooding. So my initial reaction of the trailer of Fall, I really thought that this looked like a Netflix kind of film. My town actually didn't even really get this film. I had to go to another town to go check this film out. So I was just really hoping with the hour and 47-minute runtime that they could just keep this film pretty interesting. So you have the film starting out with Becky, Hunter, and Dan. They are climbing up this cliff. Dan actually slips and falls, and he falls to his death. And then we have sometime a little bit later, and you have Hunter coming back to Becky and wanting her to climb this radio tower. But at the same time, Becky is still mourning the loss of her husband, and she's not really connecting with anybody. She's not going out or doing anything. And she's also neglecting her father as well, so she doesn't have a very good relationship with him. So the film actually has her really deteriorating as a person and really not really being with it right now. So then Hunter tries to convince her to actually go climbing on this 2,000-foot radio tower. I like that this film didn't waste any time. We have this whole Becky and Hunter trying to rekindle their relationship as we learn a lot about their past relationships and stuff that has happened to both of them as friends. And when we get to this whole radio tower and they get stuck up on this radio tower, I thought that the film did a really good job of finding different ways on how they can actually get down. And the film really is a big thriller here. I thought that there's a lot of close calls in this film. There's a feeling of hopelessness in this film. And this film is actually a lot darker than I thought it would be. It actually dabbles into the horror genre. Becky, she's having these nightmares, and it has that horror aspect to it. And I like when these two girls are up in this tower, they're having to think of ways to get down. They're stranded. They are dehydrated. They don't have any food. Their phones don't have any source of any type of signal. They really don't know what to really do at this point. They're trying to think of all these different creative ways because they're in the middle of nowhere. And they have a few different items that they can actually help them throughout this whole process. But as the film keeps growing and growing and growing and going, we really have a lot of different things that are really unraveled about these two characters. And I like that this film, it found a way to keep the story going, and it never felt that it was boring or there wasn't something going on. Even though these two girls are stuck on this tower, something is always happening in this film, regardless of the fact that this film is mainly taking place on this tower. I felt that even the shots on this film, some of the parts in this film, there could be some parts where they could cut it out. There are some noticeable parts of green screen in this, but that didn't really bother me. The film even manages to throw in a twist. I love how they ended up doing this twist. It was very clever, and it really made a lot of sense, especially if you were really paying attention to both characters in this. And even the fact that this twist involves a lot of darkness, I was just really surprised. And there's a lot of moments in this film where you're kind of shocked at some of the stuff that they are able to pull off, especially during the close call scenes and just parts where characters are just doing all these crazy things that you just don't think they're going to survive. And you think that there really isn't much hope for these two girls. The musical score in this has Cherry Pie. That is played before the two girls actually go up into the actual tower. When they are up on this tower, the musical score really does play a little bit of role in here. Now, some people may not notice the score in this, but I think that it is done well enough to really build up to the different moments in this film and during moments when there's a little bit of downtime as well. Makeup, I gotta give a shout out to the makeup in this. When the girls are dehydrated, when the girls are feeling tired, when the girls are needing food, you really feel like these girls are really miserable up on this tower. The actual filming of this. There's a lot of good shots, especially when they're on the top of the tower and you get to see this whole desert that they're in, and you can really feel that there is no one around. There's not really any buildings or anything. They're in the middle of the desert, and how the heck can these girls really actually get out of this situation? I also had a few negatives with this film. So I didn't like that the whole Becky character with her father, they don't really explore that relationship on why that's really not working. I think that if they would have added that to the story, it definitely would have helped understand why these whole flaws she has with her father. And I also felt that there was some unnecessary animal cruelty in this. There's a part before they go on the tower where they find this animal getting eaten by vultures. Now, the vultures, they do have some symbolism to this film, so I definitely understood why the vultures were there. But they didn't really need to show blood and guts of the animal there. I thought that that was a lot for a PG-13 movie and something that I really didn't expect. There's also some cheesy dialogue in this, which I really did expect from a writing standpoint. And then, of course, there is some movie magic. I say it all the time, guys. This has a little bit of movie magic to it. There are parts in this where you're like, yeah, right, you can't survive there. Or, yeah, right, there's no way that you're not falling. Just certain points throughout this film where you have to throw in that movie magic. And I also didn't like the fact that they had cell phones and they're up there for days. And you guys know darn well, if you have an Android or iPhone, that phone is not going to survive days charge. It just doesn't. Those phones, they don't stay charged, and I definitely had an issue with the fact that they're up there for days and the phones are still working, because we all know that that is not true. They would be dead. Putting all those points aside, I really did enjoy this film. I liked that it had some horror aspects. I liked that it had a lot of thriller aspects. I liked the score, the cinematography. The characters are done pretty well for the most part. I thought it was a pretty solid film. I'm going to give a score of this film a 3.5 out of 5. I definitely think that it's worth a watch. If you don't catch it in theaters, I would definitely highly recommend you check it out on stream, especially if you're looking for a thriller film to really catch your interest. And I think that this one was done pretty well. Unfortunately, it's a smaller film, so it's not going to do very well in theaters. So I do expect this film to do a lot better on streaming. But thank you guys for checking out this review, and I will see you guys on my next one.